favorite time of year. It is the holiday season, so no matter what you celebrate, you're probably going to be around a bunch of treats. Treats that are filled with sugar and flour and a bunch of crap that'll totally derail your low-carb diet. So instead of getting yourself into a lot of truffle this holiday season, make these truffles.
The ingredients you'll need to make chocolate truffles are cocoa powder, coconut oil, coconut flour, black beans, stevia extract, protein powder, 72% or darker chocolate, grass-fed butter, and roasted almonds.
These low-carb truffles are super easy to make and they are so delicious. They're creamy and gooey on the inside and have a nice hard chocolate shell on the outside, just like you'd come to expect from any holiday truffle. But these are a little bizarre because we start this recipe with a can of black beans. Black beans are not a typical ingredient that you might see in desserts, if you know what I mean, but they make the perfect smooth consistency for the center of these truffles, and I think you'll be really surprised at how delicious they turn out. So we take a can of low sodium black beans with nothing else in it, and we're going to strain these in a strainer. I also went ahead and gave mine a quick rinse. We're gonna pop these in a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, a blender will work for this as well. What happened to the bean that got in trouble? It got grounded. So we're gonna let that run for quite a while until they're smooth and scrape the sides and then run it once again. We want these beans to be so ground that they don't even look like beans anymore. It'll probably look like hummus to most of you. And I know some of you are probably thinking beans are high carb, but this recipe makes 20 truffles and each truffle only has 5 grams of carbs per piece and 3 of those are fiber. So yes, beans are very, very high in carb if you eat an entire can of them, but if you're just eating them in small portions, they're really great for baking with because they cut down all the carbs in your recipe. So I'm gonna let that run again. Once your beans are smooth, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of butter to them. It can be room temperature or cold, it doesn't matter. And run that one more time. Once your butter is nice and incorporated into your beans, we're going to add our dry ingredients. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of stevia extract. You can also use liquid stevia for this. If you do, only add a teaspoon. 1 scoop of chocolate whey protein powder. This is sweetened with stevia, so it's also going to add to the sweetness. If you do not want to use protein powder in this recipe, feel free to use something like PB2, but you might have to add a little bit of extra sweetener. We're going to add a 1/3 of a cup of plain baking cocoa and 1 tablespoon of coconut flour, and blend again. This, as you will see, will come together and form a dough. So I'm just pressing down the sides and I'm gonna let it blend one more time. Even though it looks really good right now, I just wanna make sure everything's super well incorporated and that we have no clumps because cocoa powder is super fine and it tends to clump up a little bit. All right, after about 10 more seconds, our dough is ready. So you can just take any bowl. We're going to pop this in the fridge while we make our coating and let it chill so that it's really easy to roll out into little balls. We want this to chill pretty quickly, so if you are going to leave it for a while before you make them, put them in the fridge. But if you're just gonna leave it for a few minutes like I am, pop it in the freezer while we make our coating. Our dough is chilling out, and what is a truffle without an amazing crunchy chocolate outside? So to make the outside of our truffle, I'm gonna take about 1 ounce of super dark chocolate. This is 72% cocoa. You want to use at least that. And I'm just breaking it up into like little chocolate chip sized pieces. Then to my chocolate pieces, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of coconut oil. I'm going to put this in the microwave at 30-second intervals, and after every 30 seconds, I'm going to whisk it very well. Really want to keep an eye on this. We do not want it to boil. If it has to knock down to 10 or 15-second intervals between stirs, that's okay. We just want it to be liquid at the end of it. This is what your chocolate should look like after it's all melted with your coconut oil, and you just want to whisk that until you have no clumps of chocolate left. And then to that, we're going to add another 1/3 cup of cocoa powder and another tablespoon of stevia. And then just whisk to combine that. The powders are really gonna thicken it up and give us a really nice thick chocolate shell. You'll see it'll start to look like a chocolate ganache, which is exactly what you want. You want to grab a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. And we are going to make 20 truffles approximately. You might have a little more, you might have a little less. but you just want them to be about an inch. Roll them into a ball and then pop them on your cookie sheet. These are a really great thing to bring with you to holiday parties because when you eat them, they just taste like really dark chocolate truffles. You would never guess that they're made with black beans, let alone that they're low carb. They're very impressive. They're just beautiful when they're done. I had been thinking about the perfect holiday treat for quite a while now, and this is what I came up with. So if you like this idea, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you've made it this far in watching the video, make sure you comment below holiday. And if I see enough of those comments, I will have another holiday treat next week for you guys. I ended up rolling out exactly 24 or 2 dozen truffles, and now we get to dip them in our chocolate. This is really easy, guys. I just use a spoon to do it. You take one of your truffles, pop it in your chocolate, cover it, and then right back on your cookie sheet. And then this part is completely optional, but I like to sprinkle some almonds on top. So I have some toasted silvered almonds in here, and I'm just going to beat them up a little bit. And then once they're crushed, I take a couple and just sprinkle them right on top. It gives a nice little crunch, and it also looks really, really pretty. You can put anything you want on top of these. You can put sprinkles, nuts, get creative, mini marshmallows, I mean, anything works. And then I'm just gonna go through and dip all of my truffles. As you can imagine, once these are done, they do need to remain refrigerated, but they make a beautiful gift as well. So if you have friends that, you know, maybe want to try low carb or that just really like to eat healthy and you want to gift them a little something, these would make a beautiful gift. Wrap them up. Just put the instructions on the box and tell them to keep them refrigerated. If you want a super thick chocolate coating on these, you can double dip them. So how you do that is obviously dip them once, stick them in the fridge or freezer until the outside has completely hardened, and then you can go ahead and dip them again and they'll give you a super chocolatey, harder, thicker shell. So if you like them that way and you want to take the time to do them that way, be my guest. If you decide to make these with PB2 instead of protein powder, they're going to be like chocolate peanut butter truffles, almost like Buckeyes, but I do not make Buckeyes on my channel because we are not Buckeye fans here. All of my truffles have been dipped and look incredible. I'm going to pop them in the fridge for about 15 minutes and let them set up and get nice and hard and show you what the finished product looks like. I let my truffles sit up and this is how they turned out. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Look at how adorable. They're so cute. They're like fudge meets truffles. If you're a chocolate fan and you care about your health, whether you're low carb or not, you have got to try this recipe. Do make this recipe for the holidays, or you just make it because you love chocolate. Make sure you take a picture and shoot it to me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. I'm also on Pinterest. I would love to see how your truffles turn out and see what you top them with. I think that you will be completely thrilled with how they turn out, as will your guest or anyone you choose to share them with. Also, you guys, I have the nutrition facts for these truffles. One truffle, which this recipe makes 24, has 52 calories, 3.4 grams of fat, 4.3 grams of carbs, and 2 of those are fiber, so around 2 grams net carbs per truffle, and 2.7 grams of protein. If you like this recipe, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye! Okay, so this is totally unrelated to truffles, but I wanted to show you guys my Christmas trees because I'm so proud of them and I thought you might want to see them. Here's our big guy. He has no ornaments yet. He's sad, but maybe next year he'll get ornaments. Here's my mantle with our nutcrackers and Rex in his chair where he always sits. What do you think about the Christmas trees, Rexy? This one is my personal favorite. It's my Barbie tree. Every single ornament is a Barbie and there's a huge story behind it. But it's kind of my pride and joy. It's the first year I did an all Barbie tree and I'm very, very excited about it. So this is like our skinny tree that has all of our ornaments that we get every year and like our childhood ornaments. And it's a lot of fun. We also have some baseball players on this guy, some motorcycles, a little bit of Wizard of Oz. But yeah, those are my Christmas trees and I wanted to show them to you guys. Thumbs up for Christmas trees.